Pat, another series win in the books. You must be pleased with how that afternoon transpired.
Absolutely, our away win as well. They're not the easiest to come by, so yeah, really, pumped with how we bounced back after Lords a couple of weeks ago. It's been a good couple of weeks.
Obviously, every test is worth points, but how crucial is it to get that early series win in the books for another World Test Championship push?
I mean, yeah, it's pink ball as well going into next week. It's good to secure it before that. They always kind of seem to throw up a little bit, something different. But yeah, no, it's dream start really. 2 from 2 gets us into the cycle, and yeah, played some really good cricket.
And just your reflections on that partnership between Cam and Steve yesterday, how they worked through the challenges of the pitch, to put in, probably was the match-defining partnership in the end.
Oh, it was. I think turning up to the ground yesterday, was kind of expecting to be bowling at some point yesterday, and yeah, that innings was brilliant. I mean, it's not only a tricky wicket, but it was really hot as well, and they just kind of found a way. I thought they were really clinical in their kind of areas they wanted to score, kept it ticking over, and it was a pretty tricky period out there, and that really set us up.
You must have enjoyed bowling on that deck. What was that like, and that changed plans at all throughout the game?
Yeah, it's nice. It feels like there's always something in it. It feels like it's, when the ball got a little bit soft, it flattened out a little bit, but it was always heaps in it, and kind of just felt like it was going to deteriorate more and more as the game went on. So we knew once we got to kind of anything over 200, it felt pretty, happy with. And then once we got 250, 275, felt really in the box seat. But yeah, it was a tricky wicket, kind of up and down from day one even. So it just always felt like you're in the game.
And some lighter loads on this tour, obviously a 3-day into a 4-day, the bowler's not bowling a crazy amount of overs. Do you expect that everyone's fine, fit, raring to go, given the turnaround at Kingston?
Yeah, expect so. Give it a couple of days and see how everyone pulls up. But I think we were all probably around 25 overs or something for the match, which is really light. It's kind of another big tick. It's not only the win, yeah.
And just lastly, big week for Starkey. If he plays, obviously he will play, but 100 tests, just a word on him, whether you guys do anything throughout the week to honour that?
Yeah, we'll come up with something. Normally come up with a couple of presents or something. A bit of memorabilia or something for him to remember it by. But I mean, a huge effort. As a fast bowler as well, like he's bowling 145 at the end of that game, and I can't fathom playing 100 games and keeping that kind of speed. Like, he's just a warrior. He just turns up every week and wants to play no matter what. Just cracks on. He's such a low fuss kind of guy. So, all things going well, it'll be a great week for him next week. We'll kind of celebrate. You'd know the numbers, but it's a pretty small crew that have played 100 tests. I think he's the second fast bowler, which it's really rare, really tough to do. So proud of him.
Just a word on Alex Carey, Pat, player of the match here, runs last week, has had a hard pitch to keep on, balls going up and down. Just a word on what he brings to this team. He's obviously been handed the song from Nathan last week, just everything he brings to the side for you.
Yeah, I mean, he's about 4 or 5 years into his test career. I think in the last year or so, it's probably been his most prolific. He looks really settled, and any opposition that kind of has a number 7, it's normally a keeper, but walks in and they're kind of in good form, they can move the game quickly. They're some of the scariest players, and I feel really lucky that we've got Kez in our side that does that. Last week I thought he was close to man of the match as well, and this week the same. He just, it's a really tricky period to walk into bat 5, 6, 7. The game's normally in the balance, and time and time again, him along with a couple others seem to take the game away from the opposition. So he's great. He's keeping really well, also, but just always seems to contribute.
Pat, did I see you guys watching the England Test up on the balcony before the start of play? Were you keeping an eye on that during the game?
I wasn't. Probably Marnus was. We'll keep an eye on it. Who'd want to be a bowler over there? Looks.
Third flattest wicket in history of English cricket, apparently, according to the stats.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. It's just, looking at Test cricket this week over here compared to that, it looks like 2 different sports the way it goes about it. But it looks like it's going to be a good series, 1-1. Didn't watch a lot of it, but saw the scores. It's normally, if there's any golf on, it's normally golf's on. John Deere Classic, this week. Yeah, British Open, a couple of weeks.
Darren Sammy was just saying how his team's on a learning curve at the moment under him, under a new captain. How much do you think your experience of your team, especially your bowlers, comes into play in these conditions?
I think it's a big part of it. We spoke about someone like a Steve Smith coming back. He might not have played at Granada, but he's played, on lots of wickets where you've got to find a different way to score, and it might not just be big drives down the ground or whatever it is. You've got to kind of scrap your way to a 50, and I think that comes through experience. I think even someone like Semi, his learning curve from first game to this game I thought was really good. He moved really well on a tough wicket. So that's all you can kind of really ask. But with experience, you've seen a lot of the same problems before. You have a level of calmness that you can work your way through the problem. So as a captain, it makes my life a lot easier knowing you've got lots of settled players there.
And in terms of the wickets you've had up to now, is that what you were expecting when you came out here?
Didn't quite know really. I thought Barbados was going to be a little bit more batter friendly than it was. This week didn't really know, and then Jamaica being a pink ball, we don't really know as well. So kind of get over there and have a look. Obviously you've got the extra spinner, you got the extra batter, those kind of options. So you're kind of pretty open-minded. But until we've got to each venue, you haven't really had a total idea of what was going to play out.
Pat, what's been, you touched on Sam a moment ago, what's been the message for him, given he's obviously a very young player, still learning it, finding his feet, and obviously it's been some tough days for him. How is he coping with that, and what's the attitude been like from the group around him?
Look, he's been good. I think for anyone who's starting out their test career, you kind of pick for a reason, and you at your best, we know is good enough. So I think it's just about concentrating on what makes you a really good player. For someone like a batter, it might be where you score your areas. You kind of what tempo do you normally operate at your best, and just don't get too caught up in every innings feels like the biggest thing in the world. But I think the stat is even the best batters in the world don't hit their average 3 out of 4 times or something like that. You're going to fail more often than you're going to succeed. So just as long as you're a quick learner, as long as you're moving well and giving yourself the best chance, it's just keep kind of doubling down on that and judge yourself after a series or so, not innings by innings.
And just, I know you touched on the bowlers as a collective and how you're holding up given the loads. What about yourself, given you had the injury stuff at the start of the year? How's your body going at the moment?
I feel great. Really good. Having that block, probably first of all the block before the Indian summer, Indian Test series, I felt amazing. Kind of after that, my ankle was a little bit niggly, but kind of had a jab in that, and basically the last couple of months, body's felt as good as it has. So feeling in a really good spot. Kind of with one Test match to go, so I'm really happy.
Pat, first pink ball test away next week, Duke's ball as well. Have you had a look at these types of balls yet, or how do you envisage preparing for that challenge?
Absolutely haven't had a look at them. I think we've been trying to get our hands on some, but we haven't got some yet. So hopefully they're waiting for us in Jamaica. My experience in pink ball in Australia is there's always a bit of you never quite know what you're going to get. We've played a lot, but things can change really quickly. So even when you feel like you're on top, things can change quite fast. As a bowler, maybe swing comes into a little bit more. Maybe you're trying to, when the ball's hard, maybe try and make sure you kind of make the most of that a little bit more. But it's a slightly different tempo, but it's not worlds away from normal Test cricket.
And just the final word on Alex, you touched on him before, obviously, but have you noticed his game evolve over sort of the last 12, 18 months? Like, he just seems so clear on the conditions, what his game plan is when he's coming out to bat. Have you noticed that when you've been batting with him?
Yeah, and bowling to him as well. He's just looking really sharp and really hard to bowl to. I know a couple of away tours last year in white ball cricket. He really impressed, I think in England, was it? He did well, and everyone was saying how well he's looking and feeling, and then he carried that on to the start of the Shield season, and it's basically unbelievable for South Australia when he played the Shield games, and he just carried on to international cricket. So he's just a guy that knows his game really well. He's confident, and just in a really good kind of patch at the moment.
Did you not have that short leg in so you could take that screamer the other day on purpose?
Yeah, Yeah, got the greys now. Yeah, that was half Trav's fault. No, probably mainly my fault. I don't have the greatest warm-up balls, so my first ball I thought I probably don't need it in, but I'll put it in for the right hand and I just forgot. So as soon as it went up, I thought straight away, where's my short leg? What am I doing?